So we're starting with question G on the material sheet. Material sheet 1, question 17G. The question is root 2x squared plus 2 root 2xy plus root 2y squared minus 8x plus 8y is equal to 0. I'm not used to red ink, so I'll change it to black. Okay, so the key things to know here is once it's about rotation, first thing I need these x prime cos theta minus y prime sin theta. And then y is equal to x prime sin theta plus y prime cos theta. So to get the theta itself, so I'll ask you to mute. So to get the theta itself, we also have two. Somebody saying something?
Yes, I was asking. What's the difference between theta and alpha?
There's no difference. So what not about the naming of the angles? The angle can be named beta, alpha, theta, any. It's just an angle. Okay, so after we have these two, very, very important, these ones. You can't answer any question on rotation without the idea of these two. Then we get theta from this. So you'd say cot 2 theta is equal to A minus C over B, or tan 2 theta is equal to B over A minus C. Remember, cot and tan are just reciprocals of each other. If you multiply the two, you get a 1. So it also have these. Also very, very important. So I'm saying very important. Then what will be next now? So we can go to our, remember, it's always ax squared, bxy, cy squared, dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0. So that we're able to identify what a is, what b is, and what f is. So the first thing we need here is get the angle. So we can use n of the 2. So I like tan. So tan 2 theta is equal to b. B is 2 root 2. That is our b from there. Coefficient of the product, that's b over a minus c. Now a is root 2, c is root 2. So what we get? We get 0. No, we don't get 0. We get 0 in the denominator. So we have 2 root 2 over 0 undefined. So where is tan undefined? Where is tan not defined? Where is tan not defined? What is tan? Remember, tan theta is sine over cos. So tan 0 is 0. Tan 90 is sine 90 over cos 90. Now sin 90 is 1 and cos 90 is 0 undefined. This means that our tan 2 theta is tan theta means that 2 theta is equal to 90 pi over 2. So we're looking for theta. Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by half. So theta is equal to pi over 4. So I've gotten theta. After we get theta, where do
Excuse me, sir.
Hello.
What have you done here? Why you've written tan 2 theta is equals to 2 theta over 2 is equals to pi over 2 times half. Where have you gotten that?
Here we are saying we are now saying if tan 2 theta is undefined, we look for the angle which makes it undefined, and we have identified the angle here to be 90. So now we are saying then it means that the 2 theta which is inside tan should be equal to 90. But 90 is the same as pi over 2 if we do it radians. And so pi over 2. Then we divide by 2 for us to solve for theta. So theta is going to be pi over 2 divided by 2, which is the same as pi over 2 multiplied by 1 over 2. So that we get pi over 4. This is 45, is it? So now we are saying, since we said x is equal to x prime cos theta, and the theta is known, minus y prime. Hello?
So whenever we find something undefined, we're supposed to make it defined?
No. We are looking for an angle. Your question is, what makes tan undefined? You're not redefining tan. It is undefined the way it is. Now you're saying, at which angle is tan undefined? Tan is undefined at 90. That angle you find, you always equate it to 2 theta and then solve for theta.
My network is really bad. Kindly come again.
Okay, so you're saying, are you getting me now? The limitations of online. Okay, so cos pi over 4, that is cos 45. Cos 45 is root 2 over 2 x prime minus sine 45 is root 2 over 2 y prime. We also get y. Y is x prime sine 45 plus y prime cos 45. Now this is x prime. Sine 45 is the same as cos 45. So again, we're doing root 2 over 2 minus, which is plus now, root 2 over 2 y prime. So critical for use, this x and this y. So we go in the equation now. Wherever there is that x and that y, we must substitute these equations and start the solving. So don't forget them, root 2 over 2 x prime. So I'm moving to the next board. So in fact, we can get them 1, 1. So the first one is root 2 x squared. This is root 2. What is x? X is root 2 over 2 x prime minus root 2 over 2 y prime. So root 2 over 2 x prime minus root 2 over 2 y prime. So expand this, it will give us, oh, it must be squared, remember? So we have root 2 and then root 2. In fact, since root 2 over 2 is common there, I'm thinking of factoring it out. Since it's common, I think it will make sense. So say, since it's common, we'll have root 2 and then root 2 over 2. We give it the square and we'll have x prime minus y prime multiplied by x prime minus y prime. A good one. So root 2 squared is 2. So we have root 2 over 4. And then x prime squared minus, then just put 2 because we multiply twice, and then plus y prime squared. So that this one here can be reduced. So we'll get root 2 over 2 x prime squared minus root 2, because this 2 here will cancel this 2 which is down. So root 2, so root 2 x prime y prime, and then plus root 2 over 2 y prime squared. So we keep the first one. The second one is 2 root 2 xy. This is 2 root 2. What is x? X is root 2 over 2 x prime minus root 2 over 2y prime. We multiply this by y, which is root 2 over 2 x prime plus root 2 over 2 y prime. Is it? Yeah. Okay. So what is this? This guy looks like they are conjugates of each other. So it might be nice. Multiplying. So we'll have 2 root 2, and then we multiply. Oh, we do what we did again to avoid making mistakes here. We factor out the root 2 over 2. From here, we also factor the root 2 over 2 from here, and remain with x prime minus.
So the networks I was disconnected.
You've been You were disconnected. Seems like yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Don't worry. We're just expanding this
So
thing.
the record lectures.
Yes, I'm recording it. So don't worry, you have the recording after this. I'll upload it in the group. Okay, so these two here. So let's do this. These two can take away these two. Then root 2 times root 2 will give us a 2. So that these two can take away these two. So we have remained with root 2 outside. We have remained with root 2 outside. So we have root 2, and then we open. So x prime squared, then plus x prime y prime minus x prime y prime, and then minus y prime squared. So you can see that this and this is 0. So here we've got root 2x prime squared minus root 2y prime squared. Kept here. We go to the third one, root 2y squared. This is root 2. What is y? Remember, so this time around, we are dealing with y, which has a plus here. Okay, again, we'll factor out the root 2 over 2. And remember, it must be squared. So we'll have x prime plus y prime multiplied by x prime plus y prime. So this guy must be squared as it comes out of there. So what we get? We get first root 2 squared gives us the 2. That 2 takes away the 2 from 4. So we remain with the 2. So we have root 2 over 2. Then x prime squared plus 2x prime y prime plus y prime squared. This guy will give us root 2 over 2 x prime squared plus root 2 x prime y prime plus root 2 over 2 y prime squared. So nice. Then the fourth one is negative 8x. This is negative 8 root 2 over 2 x prime minus root 2 over 2 y prime. This is negative 4 root 2 x prime plus 4 root 2 y prime. And then 5, we have 8y. This is 8 root 2 over 2 x prime plus root 2 over 2 y prime. So this is 4 root 2 x prime plus 4 root 2 y prime. Now we can gather all these guys. So we say 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. Okay, this is going to be equal to, so, oh, I mean, where I've written 1, 2, 3, 4, if you want, you can copy them. Root 2x squared plus 2 root 2xy plus root 2y squared minus 8x plus 8y. So now we pick the first one. The first one is root 2. Is root 2 over 2 x prime squared minus root 2 x prime y prime plus root 2 over 2 y prime squared. The next one is plus root 2 x prime squared minus root 2y prime squared. The third one is root 2 over 2x prime squared plus root 2x prime y prime plus root 2 over 2y prime squared, and then minus 4 root 2 x prime plus 4 root 2y prime. Yes, plus 4 root 2 x prime plus 4 root 2 y prime. This must be equal to 0. Okay, so let's see. The key thing here is that the products must be able to disappear if you are doing the right thing. So if you look at this thing here, it must cancel this thing here. And I think that's the only product part that was appearing. So because it's the only part appearing, we are now sure that there's no more product in there. So we can add the x squared. So this implies that the x squared, we have 2 of them. I think we have this one and 3 of them, this and that. So we add together. Okay, before we add, we can see that this one and this one are canceling. Yes. Okay, then nothing more is canceling. So we can do the addition. So you get the common denominator for all the x, and then we'll have root 2 for the first one plus 2 root 2 for the second one, this one here, plus root 2 for the third one. This is for x squared. And then for y, again, a 2 is going down. Then we'll have root 2. Then we'll have minus 2 root 2. And then we'll have this one, which is plus root 2. This is y squared. And then plus 8 root 2 y prime. I think it's equal to 0. But you guys can see that this guy, if you add it to this guy, they will give us a 2 root 2. Subtract this one, you get a 0. So the middle part is 0, in that there's no y term. The only term remaining is, if we add the first one there, we get 4 root 2. 4 root 2 over 2 x squared plus 8 root 2 y prime. Remember, these are primes, is equal to 0. Again, if we do the division here, we remain with 2. We remain with 2. So we have 2 root 2 x prime squared. If we take the other guy the other side, it will go as 8 root 2 y prime. Let's divide the 2 root 2. Let's divide the 2 root 2. So what we're getting is x prime squared is actually equal to 4y prime. Wow, now we have gone back to what we know how to sketch. It's a known thing. So how do we sketch this parabola? Of course, it's a parabola. If you're not so sure, if you doubt your calculations, you can get back to the question and see if it's a parabola indeed. Remember, we said the segment must be what? We said b squared minus 4ac must be what for it to be a parabola? You guys have forgotten. That's 8 minus 4 AC. That's 8 minus 8, which is 0. And that's what defines what we are asking about. So we have x prime. So we have x prime squared is equal to 4y prime. This is just a normal thing. That one can just draw. So I say, okay, x prime squared is equal to 4y prime squared. Remember, the rotation has been done with what? 45. The angle there was 45. Theta was 45. So when theta is 45, you know 45 is cutting in between here. So you cut in between here. When you cut like that, we make the x prime axis. Then we come and cut like that. We make the y prime axis. So you sketch now in the new one. Okay. So when y is 0, of course, when y is 0 on the xy prime, you get 0 also there. And then since x standard is squared, this will just be a parabola that is on the y-axis. So you can draw it that way. I shouldn't come down. I was right. Just draw it in another end. So it's a parabola coming there. Okay. With the directrix, and that's 4p y. So y the p is 1. So it gets to be down. Also, it can be up. So it will be down at -1. And then you want the focus at 1. 0, 1, like that. So we could still draw this very thing if we were asked to draw it on the normal axis. We could have drawn it on the normal axis, where I just say, okay, what I have here is x prime, and what I have here is y prime. So I understand I've done the rotation, but then if I put it as my only coordinates, because sometimes this one is where, the first one is where they say you graph your thing on the, do the rotation on the XY plane, meaning on the XY plane, I should bring the rotation. So I'll have XY, then on the XY, I'll also show the X prime, Y prime. But if they say I should just draw on the new coordinates, then I'll just put it like that, X prime, Y prime, and then this is Y prime, so I can easily draw it like that. Where this is 0,1 and directrix is equal to -1. You can draw it like that, there's no problem. We have issues here. We only have a minute plus 50 seconds to ask questions. So I hope in the next example we'll find maybe something like a parabola or an ellipse, and so that you can see also how to rotate it. I'm taking my time on this rotation thing because I know this is a thing which is liked so much in assessments, in the quiz, in the test, in the exam. And you've seen that we've taken about an hour here. So when it comes in the exam, they know that just one question is enough. So you can find question 1, discuss the whole question 1. You just need to take a small one. Maybe they give you 3 marks. All the other marks for that part are on this one. What's a noise? It's a long way thing. You see where I've come from. You get the angle, do the calculation here. And I was very slow. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then combine them. Yes.
I want to see the first board. So, sir, if here where there is sin 90 over cos 90. For example, if we never had the standard angle like that one, what can we do?